Good morning, dear speaker, dear ministers, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to the beautiful city of Vilnius, and big congratulations on its 700th anniversary. I would like to start by saying that I had the pleasure to meet some of you at the Hack Startup Village event last year, and I'm very excited to continue our discussions about the importance and future of startup villages today. I'm also very honored to witness the signing of the Startup Village Manifesto today. But this shows the incredible commitment of all of you to fully seize the opportunities of startup villages and rural areas. It is also a testament to the dynamism of this movement, bringing together policymakers, entrepreneurs, and innovators, as well as representatives of local communities. And I want to congratulate all the parties involved in organizing this event, and especially Agri-Food Lithuania, for continuing to drive this important development. But today, you know me, at least some of you know me very well, I will focus my intervention on 5 points. First, let me talk about rural areas as places of opportunity. We need to change the narrative, and every single word is counting. Well, we all know rural areas are at the heart of the European way of life and our European identity. They are home to around 140 million people, representing some 30% of the European population and over 80% of the European territory. You know as well as I do that rural areas have faced significant challenges in recent decades, and globalization, urbanization, population decline, and aging have put a strain on rural communities. Some regions are affected more strongly than others. 2 weeks ago, the Commission published a communication on harnessing talent in Europe's regions. And this communication focuses on regions that are facing a related set of challenges. Sharp working age population decline, in combination with a low or stagnating share of people with a tertiary education, as well as significant departure of young people. The actions proposed in this communication will be underpinned by a dedicated European mechanism to support the design and implementation of targeted regional and territorial strategies that are based on region-specific situation and assets. So don't miss this opportunity too. Nevertheless, despite the challenges, rural areas kept being places of tremendous and often unique opportunities and innovation. Think, for example, of innovation in farming, process optimization in food, and bio-based industries. Take a look at social innovation projects, innovations in service provision, and the management of cultural heritage, or the technological innovations in the management of natural resources. And this brings me to my second point, importance of startups in rural areas. As European Commissioner for Research and Innovation, together with my team, we are dedicated to foster and support innovation and startups across the Union. Startups can help to revitalize rural areas and communities, making them even more attractive places for people to work and live. At the same time, rural innovation is essential for the Europeans' global competitiveness. Overall, the European performance in startup ecosystems is improving. In 2020, the European Union attained the worldwide lead, accounting for 37% of global emerging startup ecosystems. Some of those are already based in rural areas, but more is needed. Investing in startups in these areas helps us to mobilize the wealth of innovation pockets, talents, and creative minds located outside of key urban knowledge hubs. Therefore, not investing in startup villages would be a missed opportunity, not just for rural areas, but for the European Union as a whole. We also need to see the importance of rural areas for maintaining and preserving our natural resources. For example, the work by the European Soil Observatory, and we need to provide much more visibility to these two. And this European Soil Observatory shows us the importance of healthy soils for our well-being and the well-being of our societies, the well-being of our planet. Innovation and startup villages can greatly contribute to this goal. And this is why the European Commission is committed to support this project. Now, maybe the most important, what are our policies in place? There are two important strategies at European level that provide somehow a frame for startup villages. The long-term vision for the European rural areas and the new European Innovation Agenda. When we talk about the long-term vision for the European rural areas, that's our initiative to develop a common European vision for 2040. Innovation and its role in promoting rural well-being are at the heart of the narrative of the vision. And as you know, this strategy identifies several areas of actions towards stronger, connected, resilient, and prosperous rural areas by 2040. Here, what is important is that by acknowledging the enabling role of innovation in empowering citizens and entrepreneurs, the vision includes a flagship action on research and innovation for rural communities. I'm always saying if there is something concrete, tangible, operational in this rural strategy, it's definitely the initiatives linked to Startup Village initiative and linked to innovation. But now, let me talk more about the new European Innovation Agenda, which has been developed under my direct responsibility. With this agenda, we want the European Union to become a global powerhouse for deep tech innovations and startups for next generation of researchers, founders, and innovators. And this new European Innovation Agenda emphasizes our determination to seek solutions to the most pressing societal and economic challenges through deep tech innovation rather than regulation. And I think that it's a surprise when a commissioner is talking like that. As deep tech ventures strive to solve many of our deepest challenges, I'm convinced that the economic, business, and societal effect of deep tech innovation will be felt everywhere. So yes, I think that the message is clear for us, for myself, my team. When we talk about deep, that not means high technology. That means deepest societal challenges. That means an extraordinary combination between science, industry, talents and skills, regions. And Europe here has an extraordinary chance to be the leader in this new wave of innovation. And that's why we need much more initiatives like this one that unites us today. And what I would like here to say is to bring to your attention the importance to tackle, and I don't like the expression, innovation divide. I prefer to use bridge the gap, because we know that there is differences. But in the new European Innovation Agenda, there is a very strong pillar, flagship initiative dedicated to that. Don't hesitate. I see Lithuania as one of our front runners to have this very big ambition for the 100 regional innovation valleys in Europe. And the new European Innovation Agenda is here for that too. Now, this topic is important because it focuses on creating a connected regional innovation valleys across the EU that specifically involves regions with a lower innovation performance. And I can only share with you that that will be one of the conditions when we'll start with a funding of 10 billion euros, this initiative. One of the criteria that we would like to make obligatory with my team, it's always to include a region when there is a need to strengthen the innovation capacity, in order simply not to have closed clubs or always to have the same usual suspects. Now, I'm really very glad that thanks to the long-term vision for rural areas and the new European Innovation Agenda, we have a convincing and powerful policy frame for the creation of startup villages. But to make these policies tangible and operational, we also need funding. And here as well, the European Commission will continue to support you. Of the many European programs providing funding and other concrete support, I want to highlight two that are under my direct responsibility, namely the European Institute for Technology and Horizon Europe program. First, the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, the EIT, is leading our Deep Tech Talent Initiative. This initiative aims to train 1 million talents in deep tech fields across the EU by 2025. We are not talking about a strategy for 2050. We need talents, skilled, competent people right now. And we all know that there are many deep tech solutions and related skills that are essential for rural economies. Take, for example, the case of precision agriculture. It relies on people having the skills to develop and use sensors, GPS technology, robotic systems, or think of skills in molecular biology and stem cell technologies used to produce proteins in food processing. The Deep Tech Talent Initiative will be crucial to nurture these technologies and skills in companies and startups in rural areas. Now, the second important option for us to provide funding and support for startup villages is, of course, through the Horizon Europe research clusters. There is, for example, Horizon Europe Cluster 6, which focuses on food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture, and environment. And in addition, that's something new, Cluster 2 aims at improving mobility to rural and peripheral areas. It looks at the socioeconomic potential of cultural and creative industries in those areas, as well as their better management. And this cluster also addresses the impact of remote working and benefits of cultural tourism in rural and remote areas. All these activities support stronger, more resilient, connected, and prosperous rural areas. And finally, those are just some examples of how the European Commission supports startup villages. But as much as we can provide support from the European level, we need to recognize that startup villages are also a bottom-up movement. Startup villages live from the commitment and engagement of people such as those I see in audience here today. This is why I congratulate you for the development of the Startup Village Alliance, the signing of its manifesto. We need you to spread the word and the spirit of startup villages. And we need you to share experiences about what works and what doesn't work. Only through such a bottom-up movement will be able to succeed in preserving and creating vibrant, innovative rural areas in Europe. And I stand ready to support you. So I started my speech by thanking you for inviting me to Lithuania to attend this Startup Villages event. Allow me to end my speech by returning the favor and invite all of you to this year's Startup Village Forum. On 28th of February, we'll gather in Brussels to discuss concrete actions to support startup creation in rural and remote areas. We'll also share reflections and experiences, and it will be another good opportunity to expand and strengthen the Startup Village Alliance. And I'm sure that you will have a lot to share with us. I hope to see many of you here, but now I wish you a very fruitful discussions and a wonderful event. Thank you very much.